Well, my name is Allyson Lange-Sost. I am a licensed acupuncturist. I'm licensed in Florida and Georgia. I'm also a biomagnetic pairing therapist. I've been in medicine for over 30 years. I was a respiratory therapist for almost 17 years before I got into acupuncture.
If we move on to Gua Sha.
Yeah, Gua Sha is a skin rubbing or skin scraping technique. It's just me going over the areas of tension or discomfort with a tool, and you create what we refer to as Sha. And it's not a bruise. And that's just a way to work that area between the skin and upper muscle layer. So we're helping to get those muscles, ligaments, and tendons to relax and release and bringing good circulation locally to the area.
So would you say that it also works with the fascia, with the connective tissue that runs through all the individual muscle tendons and all that?
Absolutely, yeah. Stimulates that, stimulates good blood and body fluid flow. So the lymph system gets stimulated through that. And when you have good circulation, then you have less pain and discomfort and better range of motion.
When would you apply Gua Sha?
I like to do Gua Sha on the neck and the traps. It's easier to work those areas with Gua Sha than it is with cupping. So Gua Sha seems to be a better choice for those areas. You can use it on the face to help get better blood flow and stimulate, again, the blood and body fluids on the face.
So do you have like hickey kind of redness there?
You can have
so
Sha
it's
on
not
the face. So
you don't want to go on a date and just do Gua Sha before that.
Probably not. Give it a day or two.
Okay.
It kind of depends on how intense you're doing it and how much stagnation there is in the area.
Right.
So that's going to determine the amount of Sha that comes up, and then how long it stays there tells you a little bit more about circulation in general. So I always ask people to keep an eye on it and see, how long it takes for it to fade away.
Right.
But Gua Sha is very effective for that. You can use it if you have a sore throat. You can Gua Sha either side of your throat, and it does what we call releasing the exterior. So it brings everything up to the surface and releases it outward. It's good for colds and flus, for illnesses, sore throat, and just for muscle tension.
Well, and that brings us pretty much to cupping, right?
Yeah.
So I use cups as well in my treatments. I normally use the silicone cups, the flexible ones, or the plastic ones that you need a pump to create the suction. So, but you go back to the original form of cupping and you use fire cupping.
I do. And fire cupping and Gua Sha are both old home remedies. They've been done by little grandmothers all over the world for thousands of years.
Cupping does not mean that we cut the skin and draw blood.
No. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's very easy to overdo it with cupping, and a lot of people are doing it now, and some people are being taught to be aggressive, and really the goal is not to create those marks.
Right.
Definitely not bleeding, not blistering, although I've seen that happen. It's never happened on my table, but I've seen others. What we're really doing is just doing the cupping. We're employing the modality, and then you observe the skin. That tells you a little bit about what's going on. If it's just a little puffy there, then the fluids are congested. If it's a little pink, that's superficial stagnation, so not deep pain. It's usually just discomfort or tension. The deeper and darker the Sha that comes up with cupping, the more significant the stagnation, and usually they have more discomfort in the area.
Right.
But that's not the goal. The goal is not to create the Sha. The goal is to do the cupping and observe the skin.
Interesting. But even that creates more movement in the area. It creates more range of motion, possibly. It breaks up that stagnation. It creates more space.
Yes. Again, we're working that area between the skin and upper muscle layer. So the connective tissue fascia is included with the muscles, ligaments, tendons, the lymph system. And again, there are different ways to get those muscles and ligaments to relax and release, right? And one way is through the stroking, which is typical with massage. Another way is to pinch or pull.
Right.
And you're actually doing both with cupping. And so, you're getting both actions in there. So again, you get those muscles, ligaments, and tendons to relax and release and bringing good circulation locally to the area. And that's what you need for a good inflammatory response, is good circulation.
Yeah, but that is often misunderstood. Inflammation is not a bad thing for the body. It's actually its natural response to any kind of interruption in their homeostasis, right?
Exactly. So again, we're just working with the body's intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Just guiding that chi, letting it know.
Letting it know.
Yeah. Go
Letting
over
it
here.
flow.
Right.
Yeah.
Let it go, let it flow.
So when you do fire cupping, do you use the cups only stationary or do you move them?
A little of both. It kind of depends on the person. Again, it's very easy to overdo it with cupping. So you have to take each person individually. And sometimes I do moving or gliding cupping, and that's wonderful. That feels great. And so I typically do what's called modified flash cupping. So it's an on and off technique. I don't leave them on for very long in any particular spot. It can be overwhelming and you can pull the rug out from under somebody. So you do have to be careful with it.
Yeah.
It's a very effective modality when it's done right.
Agreed.
And it shouldn't hurt. You shouldn't be sore after cupping. You should feel better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There should be relief.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting. You know, sometimes people come to me, and I'm sure you have the same experience. They come with that attitude, no pain, no gain.
Right.
And I'm always a little bit cautious with that.
Yeah.
I do understand some techniques create discomfort.
Yeah.
Like Gua Sha is not always comfortable
Right.
to receive.
Right.
Or cupping, to set that cup on an area that is sensitive might not feel in the moment very comfortable. But I always feel that no matter what therapy I'm applying, by the time they walk out the door, they should feel better than when they walked in the door.
I like that approach too. I'm a pretty conservative and gentle practitioner. Some people are more aggressive. And I really try and explain to people that nothing I do should be painful. There are some areas when I'm needling you that may be more sensitive just because of where they're located. And sometimes those points are what I say active. So there may be more of a response as I needle, but it should, settle down and you should be able to relax on the table and take a little acu nap. I give a discount for snoring.
I'm super excited that you're here, and
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I really am. I appreciate the opportunity and love this area and being here is just, it's so comfortable and really feels like a healing space. So I'm really happy to be here.
Oh, thank you.